Hello there. Have you ever found yourself looking in the mirror and wondering when exactly those laugh lines appeared? Or perhaps noticed that climbing the stairs takes just a bit more effort than it used to? Well, you're certainly not alone. Today, we're going to have a heart-to-heart conversation about something we're all experiencing: aging in the United Kingdom. But don't worry, this isn't going to be one of those gloomy talks about getting older. Quite the opposite, actually. I'm here to share with you that aging in Britain today is vastly different from what our parents and grandparents experienced. We're living in truly remarkable times, where turning 60, 70, or even 80 doesn't mean what it once did. For many of us, these decades represent an exciting new chapter filled with possibilities, adventures, and yes, challenges too, but ones that we can navigate together with knowledge, preparation, and the right mindset. Did you know that nearly 20% of the UK population is now over 65? That's right, we're part of a significant and growing community of older adults who are reshaping what it means to age in Britain today. And while the media often portrays aging as something to fear or fight against, I'm here to tell you that there's an incredible amount to look forward to in these golden years. Throughout this video series, we'll explore the many facets of growing older in the UK, from healthcare options and financial planning to staying socially connected and maintaining your independence. We'll discuss practical strategies for thriving, not just surviving, as we navigate the unique landscape of aging in modern Britain. I'll be sharing insights from experts, real-life stories from people just like you, and evidence-based advice that you can put into practice straight away. Let's begin our journey by exploring one of the most fundamental aspects of aging well in the UK, understanding the healthcare landscape that's available to us as we grow older. The NHS has been a cornerstone of British life for over 70 years now, and knowing how to navigate it effectively becomes even more important as we age. Many of us have had the same GP for decades, but did you know that, as you grow older, you can request a comprehensive health check specifically designed for seniors? These health checks, available free through the NHS, can help identify potential issues before they become problems. They typically include assessments of your blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and screening for age-related conditions such as diabetes and heart disease. Yet surprisingly, only about 50% of eligible seniors take advantage of these valuable checkups. I remember speaking with Margaret from Leeds, who had been feeling unusually tired for months. She'd been putting off seeing her doctor, thinking it was just age catching up with her. When she finally went in for her senior health check, they discovered she had an underactive thyroid, a completely treatable condition that was sapping her energy. Within weeks of starting treatment, she felt like a new person. "I got my life back," she told me, and all it took was a simple blood test. Beyond these routine checkups, understanding how to access specialized geriatric care can make all the difference in maintaining your quality of life. Many hospitals across the UK now have dedicated elderly care wards and specialized geriatricians who understand the unique needs of older patients. If you're dealing with multiple health conditions, don't hesitate to ask your GP about referral to these specialists. They can coordinate your care and ensure that different treatments don't interact negatively with each other, something that becomes increasingly important as we age. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. The NHS is stretched thin, and I don't want to be a burden. I hear this concern from so many people in our age group. But remember this, you've contributed to this system throughout your working life, and accessing the care you need isn't being a burden, it's your right. The NHS was founded on the principle that good health care should be available to all, regardless of age or economic status. Speaking of rights, let's move on to another crucial aspect of aging well in the UK, understanding your financial landscape. Many of us worry about having enough money to maintain our lifestyle as we age, especially with the rising cost of living we've seen in recent years. But there are more support systems in place than you might realize. The UK state pension has undergone significant changes over the past decade. Currently, if you've reached state pension age, which is gradually increasing for both men and women, you can receive up to £185.15 per week as of 2023, though this figure is regularly reviewed and adjusted. However, many people don't realize that they might not be receiving their full entitlement. In fact, research suggests that up to £3.5 billion in pension credit and other benefits goes unclaimed by older people each year in the UK. Pension credit is a particularly important benefit to be aware of. It tops up your weekly income if it falls below a certain threshold, currently £177.10 for single people or £270.30 for couples. And it's not just about the extra money. Qualifying for pension credit can also make you eligible for other benefits like housing benefit, council tax reductions, and help with heating costs through the Warm Home Discount Scheme. I recently spoke with Arthur, a 72-year-old from Bristol, who had been struggling to make ends meet on his basic state pension. I was too proud to ask for help, he admitted. I thought benefits were for other people, not for someone like me who had worked all their life. After a friend convinced him to check his eligibility, Arthur discovered he was entitled to an additional £65 per week in pension credit, plus a significant reduction in his council tax. It's made all the difference, he told me. I'm not lying awake at night worrying about bills anymore. Beyond state support, many of us have private pensions, savings, or investments that need careful management as we age. Financial decisions become even more crucial at this stage of life, when we're often living on fixed incomes and have less time to recover from financial mistakes. That's why it's worth considering seeking professional financial advice specifically tailored to older adults. The UK government actually provides a free service called Pension Wise that offers guidance on pension options for those aged 50 and over. They can help you understand the different ways you can access your pension savings and the tax implications of each option. It's a valuable resource that too few of us take advantage of. As we continue our exploration of aging in the UK, we'll delve deeper into strategies for maintaining independence at home, opportunities for social connection to combat loneliness, and ways to stay physically and mentally active regardless of your current health status. We'll look at how technology is creating new possibilities for older adults and how intergenerational relationships can enrich our lives in ways we might not have anticipated. Let's now turn our attention to one of the most significant decisions many of us face as we age, where and how we want to live. The concept of aging in place, remaining in your own home as you grow older, has become increasingly popular in the UK. Many of us have deep emotional connections to our homes and communities and want to maintain our independence for as long as possible. Many of us have deep emotional connections to our homes and communities and want to maintain our independence for as long as possible. But as our needs change, our homes might need to change too. The good news is that there are more options than ever for adapting your existing home to make it safer and more comfortable as you age. Simple modifications can make a tremendous difference to your quality of life and safety at home. Installing grab rails in the bathroom, removing trip hazards like loose rugs, improving lighting in hallways and staircases. These small changes can significantly reduce your risk of falls, which unfortunately become more common and more dangerous as we age. In fact, falls are the most common cause of injury-related deaths in people over 75 in the UK. But beyond these basic adaptations, you might be surprised to learn about the range of support available to help you stay in your own home. Local authorities across the UK offer home adaptation grants and services, such as disabled facilities grants, which can fund significant modifications to your home if you have mobility issues. These grants can cover installing stairlifts, widening doorways for wheelchair access, or even creating downstairs bathrooms. Patricia, a 76-year-old from Exeter, shared her experience with me. After my hip replacement, I couldn't manage the stairs to my bathroom anymore. I was facing the prospect of moving into sheltered housing, which devastated me. I've lived in this house for over 40 years. Through her local council, Patricia was able to access funding for a stairlift and bathroom modifications. "It's changed everything," she told me. "I can stay in my own home, surrounded by my memories and neighbors who have known me for decades." Of course, staying at home isn't the right choice for everyone. Some of us might reach a point where we need more support than can reasonably be provided at home, or perhaps we're looking to downsize to more manageable accommodation. The UK offers a spectrum of housing options for older adults, from retirement villages and sheltered housing to extra care facilities and care homes. Retirement communities have evolved dramatically in recent years. Gone are the institutional, hospital-like environments that many of us might associate with old folks' homes. Modern retirement communities often feature independent apartments with communal facilities, activities programs, and optional care packages that can be adjusted as your needs change. What's particularly interesting is the rise of innovative housing models, like co-housing communities where older adults live independently but share certain spaces and responsibilities. The new ground co-housing in High Barnet, for instance, is the UK's first senior women's co-housing community, where residents have their own flats but share gardens, communal areas, and even some meals. These communities can provide a wonderful balance of independence and social connection. Speaking of social connection, let's talk about an aspect of aging that doesn't get nearly enough attention: the importance of maintaining strong social ties as we grow older. Loneliness has been identified as a serious health risk for older adults, with research suggesting it can be as harmful to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Yet approximately 1.4 million older people in the UK report feeling chronically lonely. The reasons for this loneliness epidemic are complex. Many of us experience significant life transitions as we age. Retirement can mean the loss of workplace relationships. Bereaved spouses may find themselves alone after decades of partnership, and health issues might make it harder to get out and about. Add to this the fact that families are often geographically dispersed these days, and it's clear why social isolation has become such a concern. But there are wonderful initiatives across the UK aimed at keeping older adults connected. From local Age UK branches running social clubs and befriending services to community groups organized around shared interests like gardening, reading, or walking. The University of the Third Age U3A is a particularly brilliant example. It's a nationwide movement of learning cooperatives for people no longer in full-time employment, offering courses and interest groups on everything from languages and literature to science and current affairs. I was particularly touched by the story of James, an 83-year-old former engineer from Manchester. After losing his wife of 56 years, James found himself increasingly isolated. The silence in the house was deafening, he told me. I'd go days without speaking to another soul. Through a local community center, James joined a men's cooking group specifically for widowers. At first, I went just to get out of the house, he admitted. But it's become so much more than that. We've all been through similar experiences. Sometimes we talk about our loss, sometimes we just banter about football. And I've learned to cook some decent meals for myself, which my wife would never have believed possible. Digital connectivity is also transforming how older adults maintain relationships. While there's often a stereotype that seniors are technophobic, the reality is quite different. Internet use among older adults in the UK has been steadily increasing, with over 80% of those aged 65-74 now online. Video calls, social media, and messaging apps are helping many older people stay connected with family and friends who live far away. Of course, there's still a digital divide, with some older adults lacking either access to technology or the confidence to use it. This is where initiatives like Digital Eagles from Barclays Bank and Age UK's digital inclusion programs are making a real difference, offering free training to help seniors get online. Many local libraries also offer digital skills sessions specifically designed for older adults. Beyond staying connected with others, maintaining our physical health becomes increasingly important as we age. The NHS recommends that adults aged 65 and over should aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity each week, plus strength exercises twice a week. That might sound daunting if you haven't been particularly active, but the key is finding activities that you enjoy and that suit your current fitness level. Walking is perhaps the most accessible form of exercise for many older adults. It's free, requires no special equipment beyond a comfortable pair of shoes, and can be adjusted to your own pace and ability. Groups like Walking for Health organize free, short walks led by trained volunteers across the UK, specifically designed for people who want to become more active. Swimming is another excellent option, particularly for those with joint problems, as the water supports your body weight and reduces stress on your joints. Many local pools offer specific sessions for older adults, with warmer water temperatures and aqua aerobics classes designed for different ability levels. But physical activity isn't just about formal exercise, it's about staying active in your daily life. Gardening, dancing, even housework all count toward your weekly activity goals. The important thing is to move regularly and avoid sitting for extended periods. Jean, a sprightly 79-year-old from Cardiff, told me that joining a local dance class for seniors transformed her later years. "I'd never danced before in my life," she laughed. "My husband wasn't the dancing type. But after he passed, I saw an advert for a Silver Swans ballet class for complete beginners over 55. I thought, why not? Now I'm more flexible than I was in my 60s. I've made wonderful friends, and we've even performed at our local community center. My grandchildren couldn't believe it." What Jean's story illustrates beautifully is that it's never too late to try something new. In fact, one of the great privileges of this stage of life is having the time and freedom to explore interests you might not have had the chance to pursue during your working years. Learning new skills not only brings joy and a sense of achievement, it's also vital for maintaining cognitive health as we age. Research has shown that challenging your brain with new activities can help build cognitive reserve, essentially strengthening your brain's networks to make it more resilient against age-related changes. This doesn't mean you need to start studying quantum physics unless you want to, of course. It could be as simple as learning a new recipe, taking up knitting, trying a different walking route, or finally learning to play that musical instrument you've always admired. As we move forward in our exploration of aging in the UK, we'll delve deeper into the resources available for caregivers, explore how to navigate difficult conversations about end-of-life planning, and look at ways to ensure your voice is heard in healthcare settings. We'll also discuss how to stay engaged as a valuable contributor to society, whether through volunteering, part-time work, or mentoring younger generations. One of the most fulfilling aspects of growing older is the opportunity to give back to society through volunteering and community engagement. Many of us find that retirement provides the time and freedom to contribute in ways we couldn't during our working years. The UK has a rich tradition of volunteerism among older adults, with people over 65 contributing an estimated £10 billion to the economy through voluntary work each year. Volunteering isn't just beneficial for the recipients, it's tremendously rewarding for volunteers themselves. Research consistently shows that older adults who volunteer experience better physical and mental health, lower rates of depression, and even increased longevity compared to those who don't. It provides purpose, structure, social connection, and the profound satisfaction of knowing you're making a difference. The range of volunteering opportunities available is vast. Organizations like the Royal Voluntary Service and Volunteer Matters can help match your skills and interests with local needs. Many retirees find fulfillment in mentoring young people, sharing their professional expertise through programs like SCORE, which connects retired business professionals with entrepreneurs. Others prefer hands-on roles like helping at community gardens, charity shops, or food banks. Some volunteer roles even allow you to leverage your lived experience as an older person. For instance, Age UK's peer support programs train older volunteers to help other seniors navigate challenges like bereavement or adapting to life with a chronic condition. Who better to offer support than someone who truly understands what you're going through? Thomas, a 67-year-old former accountant from Norwich, found his post-retirement calling as a volunteer guide at his local cathedral. After 40 years of staring at spreadsheets, it's a joy to spend my days surrounded by such beauty and history, he told me. I meet people from all over the world, keep my mind active by learning about architecture and history, and I'm physically active by being on my feet. The social aspect is wonderful too. There's a whole community of volunteers who have become good friends. Beyond traditional volunteering, many older adults in the UK are embracing the concept of civic seniors, remaining engaged in local politics, serving on community boards, or advocating for issues that affect older people. Your decades of life experience and professional expertise can be invaluable in these settings, and they offer opportunities to ensure that the voices of older adults are heard in decision-making processes. For those who aren't quite ready to fully retire, the concept of unretirement is gaining traction in the UK. This might involve reducing your hours, changing careers to something less demanding or more fulfilling, or taking on consultancy work that allows you more flexibility. The traditional model of working full-time until a fixed retirement age and then stopping completely is increasingly being replaced by more fluid approaches that better suit individual circumstances and preferences. The 2011 abolition of the default retirement age in the UK was a watershed moment, making it illegal for employers to force workers to retire at a specific age. This legislative change, combined with longer lifespans and economic pressures, has led to a significant increase in the number of people working beyond state pension age. Currently, more than 1.2 million people over 65 are in employment in the UK, a figure that has more than doubled since the early 2000s. Moira, a 73-year-old from Edinburgh, shared her experience of unretirement with me. After retiring from her career as a secondary school teacher at 65, she found herself missing the intellectual stimulation and social interaction of working life. I was bored silly within 6 months, she laughed. Gardening and crosswords weren't enough to keep my brain engaged. Moira now works 2 days a week as a tutor at a community college, teaching English to adult learners. It gives me just the right balance, enough structure and purpose to feel engaged, but plenty of free time to enjoy my retirement too. Of course, working in later life isn't possible or desirable for everyone, particularly those with health challenges or caring responsibilities. And it's important to acknowledge that some older adults continue working not by choice, but out of financial necessity. The rising state pension age and increases in the cost of living have placed additional pressure on many older people in the UK. This brings us to another critical aspect of aging well: financial planning and management. While we touched on state pensions and benefits earlier, it's worth exploring some additional financial considerations that become particularly relevant in later life. One significant consideration is planning for potential care needs. While the NHS provides healthcare free at the point of use, social care in the UK operates under different rules. Currently, if you have assets including your home in most cases worth more than £23,250 in England, you'll be expected to fund your own care until your assets decrease to this threshold. The system varies slightly across Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, with Scotland offering some personal care free of charge. This means that many older adults face difficult decisions about how to fund potential care needs without depleting all their assets or leaving nothing for their loved ones. Long-term care insurance, equity release schemes, and careful estate planning can all play a role in preparing for this eventuality, though each comes with its own considerations and potential drawbacks. The good news is that reforms to the social care system are on the horizon, with plans to introduce a cap on the amount anyone will need to pay for personal care in their lifetime. However, navigating the current system remains complex, and seeking professional advice from financial advisors who specialize in later life planning can be invaluable. Beyond financial planning, many older adults in the UK are also thinking about how to maintain their independence and dignity as they age, particularly if health challenges arise. Advanced care planning allows you to document your wishes regarding future medical care, ensuring that your preferences are known if you become unable to communicate them. An advanced decision, sometimes called a living, will allow you to specify which medical treatments you would refuse in certain circumstances. This is legally binding if it meets certain criteria. Meanwhile, a lasting power of attorney for health and welfare enables you to appoint someone you trust to make healthcare decisions on your behalf if you lose the capacity to do so yourself. These can be difficult topics to think about, let alone discuss with loved ones, but having these conversations and documents in place can provide immense peace of mind. It ensures that your wishes are respected and removes the burden from family members of trying to guess what you would have wanted during what is already a stressful time. Dorothy, an 81-year-old from Bath, described how helpful these conversations were for her family. After seeing how my sister's children struggled with decisions about her care when she developed dementia, I was determined not to put my own daughter through that, she explained. We had some frank discussions, I completed all the paperwork, and now we can get on with enjoying our time together without that cloud hanging over us. This brings us to another crucial aspect of aging well: maintaining cognitive health. While some changes in memory and thinking speed are normal parts of aging, dementia is not an inevitable consequence of growing older. In fact, research suggests that up to 40% of dementia cases could potentially be prevented or delayed by addressing modifiable risk factors. The evidence increasingly points to a brain-healthy lifestyle that can help maintain cognitive function as we age. This includes regular physical activity, which increases blood flow to the brain, a heart-healthy diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and omega-3 fatty acids, maintaining social connections, managing stress, getting quality sleep, and challenging your brain with new learning and experiences. The NHS Health Check for adults aged 40-74 now includes an assessment of dementia risk factors, reflecting the growing recognition that early intervention and prevention strategies are crucial. For those concerned about memory changes, it's important to speak with your GP rather than dismissing concerns as just getting older. Early diagnosis of conditions like Alzheimer's disease can open the door to treatments and support that may help manage symptoms and maintain quality of life for longer. Support for people living with dementia and their carers has improved significantly in recent years. Initiatives like Dementia Friends, led by the Alzheimer's Society, have trained over 3 million people across the UK to better understand dementia and provide more supportive communities. Many towns and cities are working toward becoming dementia-friendly, with businesses and services adapting to better meet the needs of people living with the condition. Technology is also playing an increasingly important role in supporting older adults, including those with cognitive impairments. From medication, reminder apps, and GPS trackers to smart home systems that can monitor activity patterns and alert carers to potential problems, these innovations are helping many people maintain their independence for longer. However, it's important to acknowledge that there can be barriers to technology adoption among older adults. Cost can be prohibitive, particularly for those on fixed incomes. Physical limitations like arthritis or visual impairments can make standard devices challenging to use. And for those who didn't use computers during their working lives, there may be a significant learning curve. This is where intergenerational learning can be particularly valuable. Programs that pair older adults with younger tech-savvy volunteers not only help bridge the digital divide, but also foster meaningful connections across age groups. Libraries, community centers, and organizations like Age UK frequently offer such programs. Intergenerational connections extend far beyond technology support, of course. They enrich our lives in countless ways, providing older adults with the opportunity to share wisdom and experience while learning from younger perspectives. Initiatives like community gardens where retirees mentor schoolchildren, shared housing schemes that match older homeowners with young professionals for companionship and practical support, and arts projects that bring together people of different ages all help combat age segregation and the stereotypes it can perpetuate. Barbara, a 77-year-old former nurse from Liverpool, joined a community choir that welcomes members of all ages. At first, I worried I'd feel out of place among the younger people, she admitted. But music is this wonderful leveler. When we're singing together, age just doesn't matter. I've made friends with a 23-year-old student who reminds me so much of myself at that age. We meet for coffee outside of choir practice now, and I find her perspective on the world so refreshing. She says the same about mine. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration of aging in the UK, it's worth reflecting on how attitudes toward aging are gradually shifting. While ageism remains prevalent in many aspects of British society, there are encouraging signs of change. The representation of older adults in media is slowly becoming more diverse and nuanced. Organizations are recognizing the value of age-diverse workforces, and many older adults themselves are challenging stereotypes through their active, engaged lifestyles. In many ways, today's seniors are pioneering a new vision of what it means to grow older, one that embraces the wisdom and perspective that comes with age while rejecting limitations and prescribed roles. You are part of this pioneering generation, reimagining aging not as a time of decline, but as a dynamic new chapter with its own unique opportunities and experiences. As we continue our journey through the later stages of life, we can draw strength from knowing that we're not alone. We're part of a growing community of older adults navigating similar challenges and celebrating similar joys. By staying informed, planning proactively, maintaining connections, and advocating for our needs, we can ensure that these years truly are golden. In our next segment, we'll delve deeper into practical strategies for maintaining health and well-being as we age, explore innovative housing models that are emerging across the UK, and hear inspiring stories from older adults who are thriving in their later years. We'll also look at how to access specialized support services when needed and discuss ways to ensure your voice is heard in healthcare settings. In our next segment, we'll delve deeper into practical strategies for maintaining health and well-being as we age, explore innovative housing models that are emerging across the UK, and hear inspiring stories from older adults who are thriving in their later years. We'll also look at how to access specialized support services when needed and discuss ways to ensure your voice is heard in healthcare settings. One aspect of aging that deserves special attention is the relationship between physical and mental health. The two are inextricably linked, with each profoundly affecting the other. For many years, mental health was somewhat overlooked in older adults, with symptoms of depression or anxiety often dismissed as an inevitable part of aging. Thankfully, this attitude is changing, with growing recognition that mental health matters at every stage of life. Depression affects approximately 22% of men and 28% of women aged 65 and over in the UK, yet it's estimated that 85% of older adults with depression receive no help from the NHS. This is partly because older adults may be less likely to seek help for mental health concerns, perhaps due to generational attitudes that viewed mental health struggles as something to be kept private or overcome through sheer willpower. There's also the issue that symptoms of depression can manifest differently in older adults compared to younger people. Rather than expressing sadness, older adults might be more likely to report physical symptoms or a lack of energy. This can lead to depression being overlooked or misattributed to physical health conditions or simply to getting older. If you're experiencing persistent low mood, loss of interest in activities you once enjoyed, changes in appetite or sleep patterns, or feelings of worthlessness, it's important to speak with your GP. Effective treatments are available, from talking therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy to medication where appropriate. The NHS Improving Access to Psychological Therapies IAPT program provides support for common mental health problems, and many services now offer specific expertise in working with older adults. Beyond clinical interventions, there are many ways to support mental well-being as we age. Regular physical activity has been shown to be as effective as antidepressants for mild to moderate depression in some studies. Maintaining social connections, pursuing meaningful activities, spending time in nature, and practicing mindfulness or relaxation techniques can all contribute to better mental health. Gordon, a 68-year-old from Newcastle, shared how allotment gardening helped him through a difficult period after retirement. "I defined myself by my job for over 40 years," he explained. "When that ended, I felt lost, like I had no purpose anymore. My allotment became my salvation." There's something profoundly healing about working with the soil, watching things grow. The physical exercise and fresh air help, of course, but it's more than that. It's the sense of nurturing something, of being connected to the natural cycles of life. And the community aspect is wonderful too. We're all from different walks of life, but we share tips and look out for each other's plots when someone's away. It gave me a new identity when I needed it most. Gordon's experience highlights an important truth, that maintaining a sense of purpose and meaning is vital for well-being as we age. For many people, retirement can prompt a period of reflection and reassessment. Without the structure and identity provided by work, it becomes necessary to find new sources of meaning and fulfillment. This search for meaning in later life is deeply personal. For some, it might involve creative pursuits like painting, writing, or music. For others, spiritual practices or religious communities provide a framework for making sense of the aging process and connecting with something larger than themselves. Many find purpose in family relationships, particularly grandparenting, which offers the joy of nurturing the next generation without the full-time responsibilities of parenting. The concept of legacy also becomes increasingly significant as we age, not just in terms of financial inheritance, but in the values, stories, and wisdom we pass on to younger generations. Life review and reminiscence can be valuable processes, helping us integrate our experiences and recognize the themes and contributions of our lives. Recording your life story, whether through writing, audio recordings, or video, can be a meaningful project that benefits both you and your loved ones. Margaret, an 84-year-old from Belfast, began a memoir writing group at her local library after attending a creative writing workshop. "We don't aim to produce bestsellers," she laughed. "It's about capturing our stories before they are lost." Between us, we've lived through so much history: the Second World War, rationing, the introduction of the NHS, enormous social changes. My grandchildren are fascinated by what everyday life was like when I was their age. And the process itself is so rewarding. It helps you see patterns in your life, appreciate how far you've come, recognize your own resilience. Speaking of resilience, this quality becomes particularly valuable as we navigate the changes and challenges that come with aging. Resilience isn't about avoiding difficulties or maintaining a constant positive attitude. It's about adapting to change, recovering from setbacks, and continuing to find meaning and joy despite challenges. Research suggests that resilience can actually increase with age as we draw on the coping strategies and perspective gained through decades of life experience. That's not to say that aging doesn't involve losses that can test even the most resilient spirit. The death of loved ones, particularly spouses and longtime friends, represents one of the most profound challenges of later life. Bereavement in older age can be complicated by practical considerations. The loss of a partner might mean learning to manage finances or household tasks they previously handled, for example, as well as by the diminishing of one's social circle and support network. Bereavement support services across the UK offer valuable assistance during these difficult transitions. Organizations like Cruce Bereavement Care provide both emotional support and practical advice, while many faith communities and local Age UK branches run bereavement groups where you can connect with others who understand what you're going through. These services recognize that grief has no timetable and that the need for support may continue long after the initial period of mourning. Health challenges represent another significant adjustment for many older adults. Coming to terms with chronic conditions or physical limitations can require both practical adaptations and emotional processing. Here again, peer support can be invaluable. Condition-specific charities like Arthritis UK, Diabetes UK, and the Stroke Association offer both information and opportunities to connect with others facing similar health issues. What's particularly encouraging is the growing emphasis on rehabilitation and enablement within healthcare services for older adults. Rather than focusing solely on treating illness or managing decline, these approaches aim to help people regain and maintain as much independence as possible following health setbacks. This might involve intensive physiotherapy after a fall or stroke, occupational therapy to develop strategies for managing daily activities with a chronic condition, or exercise programs specifically designed to to improve strength and balance in older adults. The NHS has been developing more integrated care models for older adults with complex needs, recognizing that fragmented services can be particularly difficult for this population to navigate. Initiatives like the Comprehensive Geriatric Assessment provide a holistic evaluation of an older person's medical, psychological, and functional capabilities, leading to a coordinated plan of care that addresses their specific needs and priorities. This person-centered approach represents an important shift in healthcare for older adults, from what's the matter with you to what matters to you. It recognizes that well-being in later life is about more than just the absence of disease or disability. It's about being able to live in accordance with your values and preferences, maintaining autonomy and dignity even when you need support. Technology is playing an increasingly important role in supporting this independence. Telehealth services, which became more widespread during the COVID-19 pandemic, can be particularly valuable for older adults with mobility challenges or those living in rural areas. Remote monitoring devices allow people with chronic conditions to track vital signs at home, with healthcare providers alerted to any concerning changes. And assistive technologies, from relatively simple devices like jar openers and button hooks to more sophisticated systems like voice-activated home controls, can help overcome specific functional limitations. Smart home technology holds particular promise for supporting aging in place. Motion sensors can detect falls or unusual patterns of activity. Medication dispensers with alarms help ensure prescriptions are taken correctly. Video doorbells allow you to see who's at your door without having to get up. And voice-controlled systems can make it easier to control lighting, heating, and entertainment, particularly for those with arthritis or visual impairments. Of course, technology is only valuable if it's accessible and acceptable to those who could benefit from it. The design of these systems needs to take into account the specific needs and preferences of older users. Larger buttons and text, simpler interfaces, and robust technical support, for example. And privacy concerns must be addressed, particularly for monitoring technologies that collect data about daily activities. For those who require more hands-on support, the UK's social care system provides a range of services, from help with shopping and meal preparation to personal care assistance with bathing and dressing. These services can be arranged through your local authority following a needs assessment, though as mentioned earlier, they may be means-tested depending on your financial situation and location within the UK. There's also growing recognition of the vital role that informal carers, spouses, adult children, friends, and neighbors play in supporting older adults. Approximately 1.3 million people in the UK, aged 65 and over, are caring for someone else, often while managing their own health challenges. This silent army of carers provides unpaid care worth an estimated £132 billion annually, more than the entire NHS budget. Support for these carers is essential, but often inadequate. Carers assessments, available through local authorities, can identify needs and potentially provide services like respite care to give carers a break. The carers allowance offers some financial support, though at £67.25 per week, as of 2022, it falls well short of recognizing the true economic value of the care provided. Carer support groups, both in person and online, can provide emotional support and practical advice from others who understand the challenges involved. As our exploration of aging in the UK comes to a close, it's worth reflecting on the significant social and policy changes needed to better support an aging population. The UK's population aged 85 and over is projected to double to 3.2 million by 2041, presenting both challenges and opportunities for society. Creating age-friendly communities with accessible housing, transportation, and public spaces, opportunities for social participation and employment, and respect for the contributions of older citizens will be crucial. The World Health Organization's Age-Friendly Cities framework provides a valuable model, and several UK cities and towns are already working toward this vision. Policy reforms in areas like pensions, healthcare, social care, and housing will need to address both the current needs of older adults and prepare for future demographic changes. This will require significant public investment and political will, as well as a shift in attitudes toward aging and older people. As individual older adults, we can contribute to this broader change by challenging ageist stereotypes, advocating for our needs and rights, and remaining engaged as active citizens. By sharing our experiences and perspectives, we help create a more nuanced understanding of what it means to grow older in today's Britain. Throughout this exploration of aging in the UK, we've covered a wealth of information, from healthcare and housing options to financial planning, from maintaining social connections to accessing support services. But perhaps the most important message is this: while aging brings challenges, it also brings opportunities for growth, connection, and continued contribution. The later years of life can be a time of creativity, deepening relationships, and sharing the wisdom gained through decades of experience. Each of us will chart our own unique course through these years, based on our individual circumstances, values, and preferences. But by staying informed, planning proactively, and supporting one another, we can help ensure that growing older in the UK is a time of dignity, meaning, and well-being for all. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the landscape of aging in modern Britain. I hope you found it informative and encouraging as you navigate your own path forward. Before we part ways today, I'd like to invite you to join our community of like-minded individuals navigating this remarkable journey of aging in the UK. This isn't just another YouTube channel, it's a gathering place for those of us who believe that our later years can be among our most fulfilling. By subscribing, you'll receive regular insights, practical advice, and inspiration delivered straight to your device. No need to search for reliable information when it's all curated for you. Each week, we explore different aspects of aging well, from healthcare navigation and financial planning to staying socially connected and maintaining your independence. What makes our channel truly special, though, is the community we're building together. In the comments section of every video, you'll find thoughtful conversations between people sharing their own experiences, offering support, and providing additional resources. Many subscribers tell us they've formed meaningful connections through these exchanges, something that's particularly valuable if you're feeling isolated or navigating a challenging transition. Remember Margaret from Leeds, Arthur from Bristol, and Thomas from Norwich, who I mentioned in today's video. They're real subscribers who generously shared their stories to help others. Your experiences and wisdom could make a tremendous difference to someone else on this journey too. By pressing that subscribe button and the notification bell, you're not just signing up for content, you're joining a movement that's redefining what it means to grow older in Britain today. You're saying that you believe in the possibility of a third age that's characterized by growth, connection, and continued contribution to society. So go ahead, subscribe now and become part of our community. And if you found value in today's video, please consider sharing it with friends or family members who might benefit. Together, we can ensure that growing older in the UK is a time of dignity, meaning, and well-being for all of us. I look forward to continuing this conversation with you in our next video. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other.